it's really nice because the whole movie is suspenseful. I'm gonna say, like, there were definitely moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like one eye open. Hello beautiful people, MJ here bringing you another new video tonight. Welcome back to my channel if you are subscribed, and if you're not, don't forget to click that subscribe button and be a part of my channel. I know it's been a minute since my last video, not too long ago, but I guess because I've kind of gotten used to posting videos more regularly, it's been a minute, it's been a hot minute. So I finally, as you can tell from the title, watched Eli, which is still me working on the video up here that I made back a few weeks ago, talking about movies that I wanted to see and give a review on, and I wasn't able to get them done in time. Bear with me, finished another one tonight. Woo! So I will say that before we get into this review too much, that I'll go ahead and let you know I did like this movie more than Fractured. I'll get into why more as I get into this. But yeah, so just watched Eli, literally finished it like not even maybe 10 minutes ago. Still trying to process a little bit, but I thought it'd be more fun to like kind of talk to you about it right on the spot, as opposed to like coming up with a shopping list of things to talk through. I don't like it when people do videos like that because it just sounds too rehearsed, and it's like, okay, but really, like, I want to know what you were really thinking. Like, I don't want you to just sit on it for a few days, come up with notes, and read from your notes in a video. Because it doesn't feel like they're talking with me, it feels more like they're talking at me. So, one thing I did do though, because I was curious to see what someone else said about this movie, because of it literally being crazy. And I went online and found one by a guy named Matt Donato, or Donato, don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not. One way that he sums this up is by saying, what in the actual gobsmacking? And I'm just like, that is perfect for this movie, because literally like the last 20 minutes of the movie, that's literally what I was thinking the whole time. Like, what is going on? Literally, what is going on? What actually happened in the movie? Spoiler alert, this video will talk about the movie, so if you haven't seen the movie Eli, stop this video right now. And my nose is itching, oh my gosh. I wonder if that means anything, you know, like your ears burning, someone's talking about you. I don't know if there's anything about your nose itching, but but I wish it was my hand, because then I'd get money, right? So first of all, about a boy who supposedly has this autoimmune disease, and his parents are trying everything they can to make him get better. Okay, so no surprise there. Like, obviously parents want to do what's best for their kiddo. Nothing too crazy. It is a Netflix movie, just like Fractured. So again, it's kind of the same ordeal. Like, you kind of have this scene in the beginning where they're at somewhere other than the main part of the movie. Yes, everyone knows you're here, Mimis. So kind of like, it mirrored Fractured a lot in the production of it, and the structure, the sequence, so much. And if you haven't seen that video, go check out my video regarding Fractured. It'll be up here. But it takes place primarily in one place, just like Fractured did. Like, okay, Netflix movie, not a big budget. They kind of have to, you know, limit themselves a little bit in what they can do, or they are limited. And then just like Fractured as well, I had made a comment that is very repetitive in the scenes that it chooses to show, or that they shot. This is no different. So they get in this vacuum sealed facility. They take off his suit for like the first time in 4 years or whatever that he's been able to touch his parents. So, you know, it is a big deal and it's a touching moment, but can you be done today? No? Okay. Thank you. It's been a while since he's been able to like have contact with people and all of this stuff. Okay, whoop-de-doo. And I'm only acting like this now. Like, if it was actually the way you really think it is, I would not be saying stuff like this like I am right now. But he's in this facility and it's like a 3-step procedure that he's going to have done by this doctor. So it's like a live-in facility for his family. So it takes place, like, as you can see from the trailer review and whatever, in this big, like, spooky looking mansion, like a huge mansion, and it's a facility. So of course you can expect there to be, with it being a horror movie of some aspect, that there's gonna be some spookiness. So the kid sees ghosts. Okay, so his first, like, starting from the walkthrough tour of the facility, he catches a glimpse of like a girl kind of in a weird position, like weird contortion in her body. I don't know what to do about my nose. My nose is like, seriously, I don't know. Sorry, this video is so weird already and I haven't even gotten to the good stuff. So he sees this ghost, whatever. Then that night, no surprise, there's just some type of interaction with like breathing at the window, and there's mist, fog on the window. And he ends up meeting this girl actually like the next day or something. I'm not gonna remember the timeline exactly, but he ends up meeting this girl who throws rocks at his window and says hey to him. And he finds out through this girl at their nightly talks that there have been previous patients before him that disappeared after the 3rd procedure. So up to this point, he keeps seeing these ghosts and even had been dragged around the house and sent outside. Remember, if he goes outside, he's gonna die because he's allergic to everything. So he thinks. So big spoiler alert right there. But what happens though is that the doctor says, oh, these are just side effects from the medication. You're on immunosuppressants. It can make you hallucinate. Which, first of all, I knew that was BS. Like, why would an immunosuppressant, like, make you delusional? That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe there is some biological fact to that, but I'm pretty skeptical on that. That doesn't make sense to me. But the interesting part, though, is that during these chains of events, this kid is super attached to his mom. He's definitely a mama's boy, but he does have a good relationship with his dad. So his mom like wants to believe him, you know, but his dad is like, you're seeing things, right? So the dad's kind of working against him, and there are all these crazy scenes where he's being attacked, but there's no explanation for it. So the mom actually eavesdrops on the dad having a conversation with the doctor where she's explaining something to him, and then she goes up to them after they've talked for a little bit, and they kind of like get quiet, and the doctor tries to like reinforce something positive to say. So she knows something's up, and apparently the guy has like, I don't know, like they don't have the best marriage, clearly, from many scenes you can tell that. At first though, he makes a comment, I've always been faithful to you, towards the beginning after one of the weird moments that they have. So I was like, that makes it seem like, are you saying she's cheating on you? So I was like, maybe they've just not had a great marriage because of that. But then everything clicks at the end. I'm just gonna jump to the end because I can't really explain other parts of the movie that happened before really well without you knowing the end. So from this thing I read online by Matt Donato, I'm gonna say Donato because it sounds nice, fancy. It actually says, I don't know if it's true or not, but presumably the 3 writers of this movie wrote 3 separate acts, like all by themselves, and then Foy, who was, I guess, like the director or something, I don't even know who was in charge of what, but this guy Foy is his last name, I'm not even gonna try to say his first name, like meshed them all together. So it's like he got these 3 crazy ideas and he somehow made them all work together. So maybe he was like the head writer or something. I'd have to watch the credits to know who did what, but I would believe it, like totally believe it, because what ends up being the case, and they give it to you, I have to say they do it really well in giving you piece by piece, because they give you one piece and you're like, oh, okay, I get why these previous things are the way they are, but then there are still some holes, but then you get the next piece, I'm like, whoa, okay, so that explains this. So it's really nice because the whole movie is suspenseful. I'm gonna say, like, there were definitely moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like one eye open, which you don't get in Fractured. There's nothing super scary about Fractured, and that's one thing I didn't like about it. That's one of my main criticisms. But we find out that the dad supposedly didn't tell the mom that he could potentially die. So, but what the whole exchange with the doctor, though, I kind of predicted that that I thought that the dad knew that he was gonna die. Like, I already figured from that the dad was keeping something from the mom, and the only thing I could think of was that his dad sent him there to die. Like, he didn't want to have the son. But at the time I was thinking, oh, the dad's tired of having a son who's sick all the time, who's not gonna have a good life. So he's like kind of giving up on him, and that's what I thought. But then, and I know this is crazy, hear me out, like it's just so insane to me to think the mom was in on it, and not in the sense that she knew that he was gonna die, and that's what made it so confusing, but the mom and the dad were purposefully making him sick. They made him think that he had an immune disorder. He was normal. His whole life, he had been normal. They were locking him up for a different reason. And so, getting that piece of information, I was like, wait, what? Like, so the mom was but like, why? So we still don't know why. Until the very end of the movie where they're chasing the kid who had snuck in, found files because he was like, what's going on? Because that girl, remember, the girl outside the window he was talking to, she was telling him about the previous patients, but he wanted to know more. So he snuck in, found the files, read them, saw that all of them had died. There were 3 patients before him, all died. But whenever he was doing that, they found out that he was snooping around and chased him to do the 3rd procedure, and he locked himself in a room. The room showed a picture of nuns. And of course the doctor who was operating on him and the 2 assistants he saw were nuns. So then I'm like, wait, what? Like, this is still really crazy, not making sense. Like, where did we get into like this being a religious thing? Then he finds a secret passage going downstairs into this room, and they lock him in the room. He falls asleep, or he goes, I don't know, he passes out, whatever, from freaking out because they gave him a shot of what I thought they were giving him to make him go to sleep. No, it was the shot that was giving him these reactions, which makes sense in the end. But first of all, before I get there, he wakes up and he's fine. He's like, what? I can breathe, I'm good. Then it hits him and he's like, they knew I was fine the whole time. So the mom, before the procedure, begs to go see him, whatever. She tries really hard. She goes to look at it. He's not having it. He pretends to pass out or die, and he takes a cross and hits her over the head with it and knocks her out flat and runs out. So then it's like, okay, this is still not adding up. Like, the mom knew that they were purposely making him sick, so why is she still freaking out about the procedures? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Then, this is where it gets good. Mom wakes up, finds out that the cross actually has a dagger in it. Like, what the heck? The procedure, then they start reading scripture and she talks about saving his soul. And then it starts clicking. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's possessed. So it's an exorcism that they're trying to do. No, not at all. As if things were already going completely different directions than what you would expect. But that's what made it so good, is that it was so unpredictable in the end. Still questionable if it flowed really well. It does seem like things were just glued together and they tried to make it work. But what we end up finding out, which makes sense throughout the whole thing because the mom pretends to be this spiritual person, I guess she was not able to have kids or something. And she mentions in the very end, kid obviously not possessed, but is the son of Satan. Like, what the heck? Like, I'm just like, this movie could not take any more crazy turns. So the kid ends up killing everyone except his mom, and his mom's like, I prayed and prayed to have you, and my prayers went unanswered, so I prayed to someone else. And so his father is Satan, and so he has all these powers and abilities, which makes sense because he likes magic tricks, right? So I thought that was kind of clever that they made the kid super into magic tricks. And it's like, dude, you can like literally create fire like out of nothing. It was just super rushed. My main criticism is that it was super rushed to the end. But everything kind of made more sense as you were going throughout the movie, or thinking back through the movie. So what was making him blister was the fact that they were injecting holy water in him. That was the medicine they were giving him, and that's why he wasn't feeling great. So since he is the devil's child, obviously holy water is gonna make you blister. And that's what you find out in the last procedure as she's sprinkling holy water on it, and you can see the blistering. It's like, oh, okay, so that's what's been making him sick the whole time. So they were treating him because I guess she wanted to get the devil out of him, or like change that part of his genetic sequence. And that's what they kept talking about, was the genetic sequence. So I guess they were trying to replace his genome, which I don't know how that would even make sense in the first place. It doesn't make sense at all. But they were injecting him slowly with holy water throughout. And I guess because as he was getting older, I guess like that he would become more aware of his powers or something. I don't know. I don't know what the logic is, and that's what you don't find out. You don't really find out any of the specifics. Like, clearly they took him there, but you don't know if it was really to kill him. Although it seems that way. It seems like it was to kill him, but the mom really didn't know that. So I really think the mom thought that he could be cured of being the child of Satan, which I don't see how you would think you could cure that. But yeah, it was just a crazy movie all around, super shocking. Definitely has that shock factor at the end, but you definitely get the suspense throughout, and you're like really questioning halfway through. Like, you start really questioning things, and you're picking up on all these subtle cues, but you don't know what to make of them, and they take you in one direction and you're like, nope, that doesn't make sense. And so it keeps you guessing what's going to happen. And then even though they start giving you pieces, what's interesting with how they do it is that it still doesn't come together until pretty much at the very end. Like I said, even whenever they started the procedure, I was like, okay, so he's possessed and he doesn't know he's possessed. Then I was like, how does that make sense? And it's because he's the child of Satan. Like, who would have seen that coming? I don't know. I'm still like mind-boggled over it right now. It really doesn't make sense, but it does at the same time. So he was seeing these ghosts, which were other children, I guess, that were like him. And it's a test because the girl outside his window actually ends up being his half-sister. And so she mentions, like, she makes this comment, like, why would I be locked up in here? Why did I have to go through this? Is what he asks her. And she's like, you have to earn it. Like, you have to earn your way out. So it's kind of like the devil testing his children in a way, but it still doesn't make sense to me. And that's the one thing I don't like about it, is it just doesn't come together quite the way it should. It doesn't explain things. Everything kind of comes together, but it doesn't explain the afterthought of it. Because it's like, why do they have to be tested or that she makes it seem like all of Satan's children have to make it through to like earn their place in the world or their power or something. And I'm just like, okay, but the house burned down, so do they rebuild the house every time? Or like, I don't know. It's like, you don't really find out if she ever went through the process. They don't explain that either. And it's just kind of like, why do they have to go through that process if they're perfectly fine? I don't know. So it doesn't make sense, but it does. So like, I would tentatively approve of this movie. I do think you should watch it. It's not as big of a like what as Fractured was. It's more like a what? So like, if I had to rate it on a 5-star, I would give it 3 stars. I think that's fair. Really, the 3rd star is just for like the whoa, like not seeing it coming. It was so bizarre. Because I mean, like I said, it's very repetitive, redundant with seeing the ghost trying to take him, and what ends up happening is that they're trying to warn him and save him. Everything makes sense because they were trying to kill him, you thought, in the movie by sending him through the front door, but really they were trying to save him and help him escape. And that's why whenever they write lie, it's not lie, it's the number 317, which is the code to the door. So the whole time the ghosts are trying to help him, which are ghosts of his half-brothers and sisters. So it all makes sense, but through the movie, it's like a puzzle, which I like. So that's why I'm giving it the 3rd star. So go see it. It's not one that I'm like, you have to see this movie. But it definitely is one of those movies that's like something you're not expecting, in my opinion. So I liked it. Let me know what you think. Drop some comments below. Like this video if you like me. And but seriously, go watch the movie. Let me know your thoughts on it, how you would rate it, things you liked about it, things you didn't like. I'm sure I'll think of more things. Being put on the spot like this is kind of like, but I just kind of wanted to talk through it with you guys. And if you've seen it, hopefully you've watched it before this, so really I guess me explaining everything is kind of useless if you think about it, but that's kind of my thought process behind it. I thought it was cleverly put together. I will say that, and the parallels and symbols throughout the movie I think are really, really great, and how he finds out is super interesting, and the whole misdirection, no matter what way you think. Like I said, I thought the dad was just sending him there to kill, like, or taking the risk on him, not to kill him, but knew that there was a likely chance that he was gonna die, and he was just keeping that from the mom or whatever. And then the doctor was just hiding the fact that none of them have been saved, they all died. That's what I thought, and it was just like, oh, they're gonna find out, and it's gonna become a big like scene and whatnot, and the kid's not gonna get better, or, I don't know. But then it's just like they take you in a complete 180, like opposite direction, a direction you would never even think, which I've said like 20 times now. But yeah, stay tuned. I will get you Countdown. That was the movie I was trying to watch tonight, and it is still not available online. I can't rent it anywhere. It's not even playing in the movies. I'm like, that movie just came out a few weeks ago. But I was like, I'm just gonna go see it in the movies because I can't find it online. And then I tried to find it in like one of the closest theaters that's playing it is 45 minutes away. Like, it was out of town, not even in Austin or the Austin area. So I'm doing Eli. So Countdown, which is the one that I was most excited to see, is still the one that I have not seen. Which I'm actually kind of disappointed about seeing now because I looked at some of the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, and it doesn't have great great percentages and stuff. So I'm not sure how I feel about it now. I'm still gonna do the review, but thank you guys for being supportive of my channel and for understanding the busy grad student life, while, you know, working jobs and trying to be active on YouTube and be successful in so many other ways. Thanks again for watching this video. If you made it this far, I love you so much. Thank you for being one of my true watchers. Give yourself a thumbs up by giving me a thumb up. And don't forget to comment below if you've seen it, if you've not seen it, if you hated it, if you think I'm stupid, but please don't say that. So I will talk to you soon. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I don't know. I might not even get this uploaded tonight, but that's the goal. Thanks again, you guys, for supporting me and everything. And I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.